Maybe she thought that with all of your history, it could be, implicit.
Well, it needs to be implicit.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Friends episodes that should have been made.
Do you think things would have been better if you just told her the truth?
What do you say we take some of those fantasies and make them real?
And that, my friend, is what they call closure.
For this list, we'll be going over the plot points and content that many fans of the sitcom Friends wanted to see appear on screen, but which never did. Naturally, there will be spoilers for the whole series. Special thanks to @everydayfriend on Instagram for the idea. Number 10, the one with Joey's new neighbors.
And it's good, because now you have a reason to come visit.
I think there may be another reason.
The short-lived Friends spin-off Joey sees Joey Tribbiani move to LA after the show's end. He does so because all his friends have moved on and moved away from the apartment that so much of the show takes place in.
Is this because I come over here without knocking and eat your food? Because I can stop doing that. I really think I can.
However, before Joey leaves, someone else is bound to snatch up that killer apartment. We would have loved to have seen Joey interact with whomever ended up moving in there next.
Look, Chandler, you gotta get it out of your head that I can't take care of myself, okay? Look, I'm not gonna miss you helping me out with money. The only thing that I'm gonna miss is you.
In all likelihood, it would have been a great opportunity for both comedy and plenty of bittersweetness, since Joey would probably either try to treat them like Monica and Chandler, or act out against them because they aren't them. Also, would they keep the purple?
Has it always been purple?
Number 9, the one where Phoebe and Ursula make up. It can be hard to remember sometimes, but Phoebe actually has a twin sister, Ursula. It's okay if you forgot, Ursula seems to have a hard time remembering too.
Your middle name is Pamela? Yes. Oh, I never knew mine. Do you remember what it is? Yes. Phoebe. That's my first name. Right, okay. Then no.
The point is, the two of them don't get along. And why would they? Ursula's kind of the worst.
Our mom is not our birth mom. This other lady is our birth mom. Right, okay, the one that lives in Montauk. You know her?
Among other things, she broke Joey's heart and used Phoebe's name as a stage name during her career in adult entertainment.
Let's go, Phoebe.
And you're using my name.
Yeah, can I help you with something?
Still, for as bad as things got between them, we're suckers for family reconciliation.
Hi, liar. Hey.
It's so odd that Phoebe managed to reconcile her relationships with her other estranged family members, like her birth mother, who would have been nice to see again too, but not her twin sister.
You and I are totally different people, though. And this is a totally different situation. And I know that I am not going to regret this. Oh, I understand all that.
Number 8, the one where Chandler is in Yemen.
Oh, I'm packing. I'm packing because I'm moving to Yemen tomorrow.
Thanks for telling me.
One episode in season 4 sees Chandler reconnect with his perennial ex-girlfriend, Janice. To get out of having to see her, he makes up an absurd story about having to travel internationally. And the first country he thinks of is Yemen, of all places.
Well, I will just have to soak up every ounce of Chandler Bing until that moment comes.
But I do know it's sometime tomorrow.
Janice is so relentless that she accompanies him all the way to the airport, and he ends up buying a ticket there, just to get away from her.
Every moment is precious. Besides, somebody had to ride in that other taxi with the rest of your luggage, and your friends don't seem to care very much that you're leaving.
Well, we're not really that close.
Although we see Chandler back in New York by the next episode, his brief time in the country would have been fun to see. What antics would he have gotten up to, with his sarcasm undoubtedly getting lost on the locals? Would the rest of the gang have had to come to get him? We want to know.
When we get to Yemen, can I stay with you?
Number 7, the one where Phoebe misses the triplets.
Everyone said labor was the hardest thing I'd ever have to do, but they were wrong. This is.
One of the more selfless things Phoebe does on the show is act as a surrogate mother to her half-brother Frank Jr. and his wife Alice. She gives birth to their 3 children, Frank Jr., Leslie, and Chandler.
Well, if you're gonna cry.
Although Phoebe expresses some initial sadness at giving them up, it's never really brought up again after that, despite the fact that she babysits them several times.
I'm doing okay. I think it's going well. Do you think they're having fun? Am I talking too fast?
We're no experts, but we feel like carrying children to term would have left more of a mark, even for someone as unconventional as Phoebe. It would have been nice to see Phoebe explore that feeling of loss.
I just was thinking that, maybe you could take one.
You can't separate them. That's terrible. Which one?
Number 6, the one where Joey finds love.
I'm falling in love with you.
We'll grant that Joey does fall in love, both with Rachel in Friends, as well as with Alex, his girlfriend in his spin-off show.
What do you say we take some of those fantasies and make them real?
That sounds hot.
But for the most part on Friends, Joey is single and loving it.
You've had a lot of sex, right?
When? Today? Some, not a lot.
Even so, it would have been nice to see him in a loving, long-term relationship with someone who really compliments him and fits in with his group of friends. Maybe someone who's just as fond of the single life as he is, forcing them both to learn how to be in a relationship together.
Honey, I promise next time I will just say goodbye and tell him you are not looking for a relationship.
No. No. Don't do that. Just... next time, make sure she really likes me.
Well, that too.
Or maybe just give us the chance to see Alex interact with the rest of the friends. Regardless, we just want good things for Joey. Because who doesn't? Number 5, the one where Ross proposes to Rachel.
Hello, Mrs. Ross.
Hello, Mr. Rachel!
It's implied in Joey that Ross and Rachel may be married in the future, after the end of Friends. But whether you want to see Ross and Rachel tie the knot, or you think Rachel would be against the idea after the last time,
This is not a marriage! This is the world's worst hangover!
it's very likely that Ross would at least propose to her.
I always thought if you and I got married, that would be the one that stuck.
The guy loves marriage after all, and he loves Rachel. So we have a feeling he'd get down on one knee at some point.
Then Fred Astaire singing The Way You Look Tonight came on the sound system, and the lights came down, and I got on one knee, and written across the dome in the stars were the words, "Will you marry me?"
If we had to guess, we'd imagine that it would happen at Central Perk. It's an important place to both of them for so many reasons, not the least of which is because it's where they had their first real kiss. Number 4, the one where Ben meets Emma.
So no brothers or sisters, huh?
Ross has 2 children, Ben with his ex-wife Carol, and Emma with Rachel. Still, for as long as both kids are on the show, they're never shown in the same scene together. As soon as Emma's conceived, it's like Ross forgets he even has a son.
Look at her. My first grandchild.
What about Ben?
What would Ben's reaction to having a sister be? What would family get-togethers look like with them and their cousins, Monica and Chandler's adoptive children? Sadly, it seems like we probably will not get to see this happen, but our imaginations can run wild.
This is just what I wanted.
Number 3, the one with Rachel's sisters. While we're on the subject of siblings who have appeared on screen together, Rachel has 2 of her own. Rachel has 2 sisters, Amy and Jill.
That was me.
Now, she was this really dorky girl in high school. Used to follow Rachel around like a puppy dog.
Amy, you've got to stop doing that.
Amy is rather, let's say, opinionated. Jill, on the other hand, is spoiled and a bit of a ditz.
Which sister is this? Is this the spoiled one or the one that bit her?
Daddy, cut me off.
Never mind, I got it.
Although both sisters appear in 2 episodes during the show, neither one of these is in the same episode as the other.
I'm leaving, because I'm not going to spend one more day with someone who's out to sabotage my every move. That's you, Rachel.
It would have been great to see all 3 sisters together, as each of their individual dynamics with Rachel is great, but we don't get to see what they're like with each other. Supposedly, they don't get along, but that just means more opportunities for conflict and/or comedy.
When I moved in here, I thought, this is gonna be so great. Just us sisters back together again, like when we were kids, except without that stupid Jill. Oh, who has gotten fat, by the way.
Number 2, the one where Judy apologizes to Monica.
Well, at least she had the chance to leave a man at the altar.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's an expression.
No, it's not.
Monica has a storied relationship with her parents, particularly her mother, Judy. Although Judy, and Jack to a lesser extent, languish praise on Ross, they forever neglect Monica's accomplishments.
This was just in case you pulled a Monica.
You promised Dr. Weinberg you'd never use that phrase.
Oh, come on, have a sense of humor. You're never able to laugh at yourself.
In Judy's case, this extends to outright insulting her daughter. Throughout the whole show, it feels like their relationship is building towards a confrontation between the two, where Monica finally tells off her mom, or Judy apologizes for how she's treated her daughter.
Do you think things would have been better if you just told her the truth?
No. I think some things are better left unsaid.
As great as that one Thanksgiving where Monica exposes all of Ross's poor life choices was, a full reconciliation between mother and daughter would have been even more satisfying.
Ross, drugs, divorced again.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The one with Regina Phalange. What if Phoebe meant a woman whose real name is the fake name she always uses?
Hello. My name is Regina Phalange. I'm a businesswoman in town on business. Would you like to see my card?
The one with Phoebe's record. Phoebe has an extensive criminal past, but most of it is never revealed.
Not as impressive as you. I gotta tell you, I looked at your record and you've done some pretty weird stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk at dinner.
The one where Joey meets Hugsy. How and why did Joey steal his bedtime penguin pal from a child?
You're gonna take Hugsy away from a little child?
How do you think I got him in the first place?
The one with the missing middle names. We know all the friends' middle names, except Monica and Phoebe's.
Do I have a middle name? All right, Monica Falula Geller. Here's Joseph Francis.
What are you middle naming me for?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The one with Rachel's new job. Rachel's arc throughout the show is among the most career-focused. She works her way up in the world of fashion to the point where she's ready to take a job with Louis Vuitton in France near the end of the series.
The job is in Paris.
However, Rachel famously gets off her plane to stay in New York to be with Ross.
I got off the plane.
But what becomes of her career after losing her opportunity in Paris?
I'm fine going back to a job where I've pretty much gotten everything out of it that I possibly can.
We doubt Louis Vuitton is going to overlook her backing out like this, but they could still hire her for a stateside job. Maybe she'll take a job with a different fashion brand, or she could become a fashion writer, or enter another field entirely. It's a little weird, we never got closure on this.
And that, my friend, is what they call closure.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.